Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? And today is Chad Chill Saturday, or I should say, Spicy Salsa Tasting Saturday. All right, today we'll be talking, Chad and Chill about a few things, and then yeah, and right now, just gonna set everything up, and then I'll get to it. Hello, everyone. How you doing? All right. Today, we'll be going over the salsa thing, and yeah, and I got a package from fellow pepper lover just within the past few days, and I'll be going over that in a minute, and probably go over a couple of more things that I got going on in here right now. But for the moment, just finishing setting everything up. All right. Basically, one of the things I got from a fellow pepper lover the other day is a salsa. Um, let's see, shaking this up a little. Um, any guys that's in the chat right now that's in part of pepper lovers may be familiar with them. Uh, yeah, I'll go ahead and show the bottle. Sauce is called Red Pain. And yeah, so this stuff will be interesting to try. And he said, from what the maker of this told me, he said it's going to be more of a mid range salsa. I don't know what mid range means to some people, but some people means, can mean different things. But um, so, and the one who sent this to me, his name is Rocky Harris. And yeah, so hold on a second. Let's see. Let's see. Just adjusting something right here. Yeah, guys. So, um, I was just going to hold out for a second to see if anybody else was going to come in here, check it out. But I don't want to wait too long, so I'll give it about a minute. But I'm eager to try this out. Um, let's see. Um, well, in the meantime, I mean, I could just talk about a couple plants, but I got a couple little seeds I dropped in there on garden. Well, I didn't drop them, I set them in there. They're germinating. Um, made a post on Google Plus about it. Still got a couple plants in here. Um, my cow Dracula, waiting for the roots to bounce back a little. I cleared off some of the old ones, cleared out a little bit of the gunk in there. And a couple of other pepper plants. I trimmed down a little ornamental back a bit. And trimmed some leaves off, took off some old pots. But and I got a bell pepper over there. It's actually getting a little bell on it, which is nice. But hmm, but yeah, um, I think in regards to some other ones, we'll have to get a bigger container for them. Um, I got an idea for it, which I might have to switch that one. Hmm, I might just do that, but we'll see. We'll see. Just don't know yet. All right, and yeah, we'll be checking out this salsa, just like I said. Um, hey, JDS. I guess. Well, I don't really see anybody else coming in right now. So let me get the stuff together. Like this. Um, as you can see, I'm gonna pull out a couple crackers to taste with the salsa. We'll put a little bit on there. And then, yeah, I guess. I haven't opened it yet. Alright, see that? Check this out. Alright, see if I can do this without making a mess. Uh-oh. You hear that? It popped. I guess I got it all over my tongue. Hmm. Hmm. Tastes like you put some spices in there. Maybe taste some salt. Those smells slightly smoky in there. Hmm. It smells nice. It almost smells tomatoey in there. Now, forgive me if I'm not trying to tip this too much. But the plus side is if I was going to tip a little more, the moisture would have gotten out. Plus side is it's thick. Like there's one some types that I've seen out there that if you even tip it, it's even about this much and it's top point. But see, that's what's good about it. It's thick. Like the thickness on this thing, on the salsa. It does have a nice aroma. So we'll go ahead, put some right here. I just would put it on camera, but we got the right space right here. All right, guys, check that out. Try to do this without making a mess. See, look at that. See how thick that is? Some nice consistency, thickness. Does have a nice smell. Hmm, that was nice. I just wouldn't mind if I had some some corn chips or something with me, some tortilla chips. I do got some tortilla chips, but those ones, they're not just plain ones. Now it does have a nice flavor. Um, does have that smoky quality. Um, it does have some tomato-like aspects. Earthy. Not like earthy like chocolate pie is too much to say, but it has a saltiness, a slight saltiness to there, but not like a high output of salt. Um, at least that's what kind of what my taste buds is picking up. Let's see. It is spicy. I can tell that for people that aren't well versed in spicy products or foods would consider this hot. I know people that would consider this really hot. For me, I like the burn I'm getting from it. To be used in lots of different aspects. I mean, like salsa mostly good for dipping in that, but I could actually see this kind of spread a bit in on top of some foods. Let's say a taco, for example. That'd be a good one to spread it on top of. Nice. Now it's building a bit, which is nice. Let's see. Go again. It's actually nice. Really like it, and I can see me using it again more and more. Mm. As it builds, definitely going good for a dipping with some chips. I'll definitely go for this aspect. Um, I would like to see how well it would go with taco or something like that. Now, Rocky, thank you for sending this, but I would like to. I wonder what your input would be to put this on a taco. Um, or what's your favorite aspect to use this on? And I'm not sure what all peppers he put in here, but I didn't ask him exact ingredients um, because this is something he made. If he anybody that watches this video, uh, hold on, you watching this video, sorry, let me get back to that again. Anybody that's watching this video and is curious about anything about this salsa, please contact Rocky Harris. Um, he he's a cool member on Pepper Lovers, and, and for those that don't know, Pepper Lovers is a community on Google Plus. Nice, cool people, and yeah. But Rocky, if you see this, please, if you could, just let me know what kind of foods you like using this with. Now, as I'm going along in here, I can feel the heat building up. Um, but yeah, but along with that's the thing about stuff like this, salsa or anything like that. Continue eating it a lot of times. More likely, if there's any heat or spice to it, the more you eat, the more it can build. But yeah, yeah, I could tell that there was some super hots in there, but I mean, yeah, it's just with the way the tingling in there and the mouth is, I can feel it kind of floating around. But it does like I'm saying, have a smoking aspect to it. Um, which after feed that a few crackers, the aftertaste is actually really nice. Um, Now stuff like this, if they have more stuff similar to this in a store, something like that, then I could actually see you get buying this. Um, I mean, any of the stuff would normally make that's like a salsa type base would be a little too much for a lot of stores that a lot of stores would be too wouldn't be too eager to take on. Um, but in regards to um, I mean, not too much in price. I'm just saying too much in heat wise in regards to some lot and some of the sauces I've made, like thing products I've made. But this isn't about that. Um, this is more about Rocky stuff right here. This his salsa is good, and yeah, be sure to check out Rocky Harris on Google Plus. He frequents pepper lovers. Try to be careful not to drop the spoon over here. All right. Um, yeah, that's definitely a thing I'd like to do with this is have it on the salsa. I mean, not have it on a salsa, have this salsa on a taco. Um, because just to mix with the ingredients on there, this would be this would be nice. I'm just liking the texture, the consistency of this right now. Um, let's see. Another one. Flavor definitely isn't floral, but that's a good thing. I mean, in regards to the salsa, not many people like a floral salsa. But me, I mean, I'm a little different on that. This is rather nice. I could, yeah. I mean, I know I've been talking about this one for a while. Let's see. All right. Come on, here we go. Best flavor. Mm-mm. This is definitely one to have at somebody's get together or something like that. Um, there's a aspect in there that on the texture. So it's almost got that. Let's see how I put the texture is very almost there can be a slight small crunch to some of the little bits in there, which is good. You don't want any kind of mushy aspect to it. And and this is let's see the salsa. It's almost got a little tang to it, tangy aspect. Remember red pain from Rocky Harris, and which is good. And that little tanginess. I'm definitely going to have an experiment with that salsa back there they sent me. But all right. Before I make too much of a mess, you already getting messy over here with all this. Now there, to me, I'm picking up a slight sweetness in there as well. But I mean, I could definitely eat more of that. But as I said, I don't want to make more of a mess. Um, let's see. Just trying to see if I'm picking up anything else from me right now. But the heat, as it is going along, was staying mostly on the tongue, or the sides of the tongue, a little bit on the gums, but for the most part, to me, it would be, I wouldn't say it would be severely mild. I know for people that aren't very heat tolerant, this, but in regards to people that are more familiarized with the spicy products, they would like this. Um, as I do like this as well. And I would not turn this down if I had salsa, made some salsa or whatever out of it, or some sitting around at a party. I wouldn't say party or get together, I meant. Um, but I mean, in my eyes, it's not a high heat one. At least for me, and as I said, there's others I know would consider this pretty spicy. I know I got family members and people I know that would consider this really hot, pretty darn hot. And but it's a good one. And yeah, let me see. And as I said, anybody that wants to know anything, got any questions about that, hit up Rocky Harris. And yeah, really nice. But all right, guys, and I want to say thank you again, Rocky. I really appreciate that salsa. And it's awesome. All right, man. Um, but you guys, I'll just go ahead and get to this right here. Hope everybody in this chat and anybody else that is watching, I hope you have a great day. All right, stay positive, everyone. All right. Um, in regards to any of my pepper plants, I still got some of the same ones I had around last some of the times I've been showing. It's just right now, a couple of them looking a little sparse, or it's a little scraggly almost because I've trimmed them back. And like I mentioned before with the contract, um, it I was cleaned off the roots. Now I'm just waiting for more roots to come back in. So I mean, the plant itself is doing alright. It's just needs to regrow some roots. This I just picked off one of the plants in here. So little extra that I was messing with for the past few seasons, but I haven't really been growing it too much. But what I've been doing with my garden is I've been just doing some different things. So um, we're just going to start growing out a lot of stuff that I've been having going on and see how it goes. And So, yeah, nice. A bit of sweetness in that one. I like the taste of that. But yeah, um, in regards to gardening or anything, gardening's kind of past that this year, or at least outdoor wise. I'll just have to rely on my own garden. Which I had to, for that, I do have to, um, which I do have to get more of the growing sponges and the little cups, stuff like that. So, yeah, right. Yeah, so let's see. Right. So, um, yeah, all right. Now, let me see. Um, Now with this one plant, the coffee container, I don't know. I should get it out of there, but the only way for me to get it out of this coffee container is I'm going to have to mess up the lid, and I don't really want to mess up the lid to it. But I know coffee containers are replaceable, easy, but I'd rather not because I mean I don't know. It's just the thought of just having to redo the whole aspect of it. I mean, not the replanting. I mean, just get another land because just because I don't know too many people around here drink coffee in the same manner I do. But um, um, let's see. Oh dang it! I left the little watering can in another room. Whatever. Um, now, basically, this year, I mean, I'm starting up a couple. I had to take the Thai pepper out of the arrow garden because the the top of the grow sponge was getting some kind of fuzzy aspect on it, which would be more appear to be mold growing on those sponge. And I'd much rather take that out of there, and then instead of having it be affected or possibly affect other ones with other plants, which I would like to get Thai pepper started via the hydroponic, but we'll have to go about that another way. Find an alternative path. Um, let's see. Um, but in regards to the arrow garden, I do have a sweet pepper, sugar rush peach, and red moruga. So, hello Gemini, um, hello Gaby's Grub. Um, but yeah, in regards to that, I'm looking forward to getting seeing how the moruga turns out hydroponically, and then some of the other ones I will do another method. Um, I I just gotta get the right container. Um, yeah. Well, that container, I will figure that out later. Let's see. Yeah, there's thoughts I have of doing the versions of Cracky. I just going through thoughts of which ways I will do them. I do get enough ideas, and I should get to them sooner the better. But yeah. All right. I will do that. Let's see. Sorry for being a little quiet. I'm just you know, a lot is focusing on starting some other seeds of how we're going to do that. Um, let's see. Yeah, I do have all these ideas floating around. I just need to focus. And let's see. Um, what I will do is got to thinking of pepper right now. But instead of just going off on that, Let's see. All right. I'm a little hungry. Oh, oh, well, drop my chips. Yeah. Hold on a second. All right, man. I'll show you something. Now, in regards to Gemini, I do not have a light over the pineapple plant. In regards to the pineapple plant, Gemini, um, it doesn't. I don't have a light propped over it that too much, and besides, it doesn't need it for 24 hours. That would not give the plant any kind of downtime. I mean, what I mean by downtime is like that won't exactly mimic, or when it doesn't exactly more mimic the what the life cycle it doesn't. It's more when it's out somewhere. What I mean is that a lot of times there'll only be a certain amount of sun or light that it gets per day before it gets darker and doesn't get any sun. So so it means, so many hours of sun, so many hours of not sun. Doesn't mean complete darkness, it just doesn't mean direct sun. But what I did with past winter too is that, I'll show you the light where I have it positioned anyway. I have it more over my pepper plants than I do that. See, look, there's a pineapple plant, okay, and then there's the light. See that? You know what I mean? Pineapple plant's over there, light's over here. So basically, when the light's on, most of the direct light goes down. Some of it goes towards the plant. I do have it slightly angled. That's the plant a bit. But if you see, you know, doesn't really get the top of the main plant doesn't get the super direct sunlight. So I mean, every so often, maybe every so many weeks or about a month, I'll kind of spin the plant around a little bit. But with this one, it's a little more of a hassle to do that because of the size and weight of the planter. I mean, this is not a small planter, especially with the amount of plants I got in there. I have at least 6 pineapple plants crowded in that container, which I will have to do something about. I meant to do something about it. I mean, I'm just saying, uh, I meant to do something about it this past summer, but I didn't because I was just busy with doing work and trying to deal with the main part of the main guard. So yeah, but so and where I have it around here, I do not get enough sunlight in the windows around here. So in regards to this one, I got a little tickle inside of my nostril right here. Trying to talk, but that really depends on in regards to how long it takes to fruit. That depends on the variety of pineapple. There are multiple varieties, which some can vary. Some can vary for to about 2 years. Some could vary up to 3 years from what I heard. So, um, and one thing is there's um, so but in regards if you get enough light in your windows, so many hours of light in your windows, then you should be good. And if you want to keep that just over the winter, that'll be fine. But I would, as a suggestion, if you want it to do pretty well up in the warmer months, put it outside. And these can fare pretty well in colder temperatures, or not cold like freezing. I'm talking about. There's been times where these have been outside in 40s, the temperatures in the 40s. So and so yeah. Um, but so yeah. I mean, in some varieties of pineapple I've seen about to be the size of a baseball, maybe a softball, but in other varieties, they can be fairly big. Now, um, one a couple pineapples I had ripened within a year or something ago. They actually, um, what had actually happened was, is after I pulled the plant inside from when the when the season shifted to cold weather, or as it was going making that transition, I had pulled the plant inside, and and then I just put it like where I'm doing now, and, and basically within a couple months time, it actually has some pineapple on it, which was really nice because it just when it as it ripened, it got pretty good size, and it came up right in where you see all the leaves part at in the center, and yeah, it just looked like a bunch of little spikes started to poke up out of the center there, and then it just came out. The pineapple rose up, started as a little small guy, then it started getting larger, and then the leaves on the top started getting pretty large, and then as it ripened, I let it ripen pretty good. Um, it was it turned a really bright yellow color as it ripened. It just looked different in the aspect of that if you're expecting or used to seeing ones in stores, like at the local supermarket, like a store or whatever, and looked different in the coloration because of the way it grew. I mean, it had a very vibrant yellow, deep yellow color, and it was cool. And when I cut it off the plant and I cut it open, it was just a very juicy pineapple and very nice. And now, and and you can't beat your fresh grown pineapple. And but um, in regards to that, and if and when you get the fruit and you harvest the fruit from the plant, um, this is one thing that happens naturally. Um, don't be afraid. Don't get freaked out. Try not to get freaked out anyway. I know you're going to get concerned probably because I did with when I was growing up. Um, is that when you harvest the pineapple, the main plant it grows from starts dying off. Now, this is something that a lot of people get concerned by, which I did because I wasn't sure about it at first. Is that the main plant starts kind of dying back a bit, but then if you notice when you start looking at it towards the lower parts of the plant, main plant, you see all these couple little shoots come out, or even sometimes at the bottom where it meets the soil. There'll be a couple of like a shoot or so. Sometimes there'll be two shoots. Sometimes there'll be three shoots or something. Then you'll see it kind of come out the sides, or even at the bottom, um, and it'll be another plant that'll grow back into it from its place. So basically, as that one dies off, a couple more can sprout in its place. So I'll admit I didn't know that at first, but as I've been growing it for the past several years, that's been a natural thing. See, see, basically with the original plant from this, um, my sister had gotten it from my mother uh, as the original plant. It was in a small planter. And then I, up potted it, kept gradually up potting them, and then another, as the pineapple that was originally on it, got cut, was taken off there. The main part of the plant died, and I was like, oh snap! I was wondering, I almost thought something was wrong, and 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 so when I uh, when I did that, the plant, the main part of the plant died, but then it sprouted off a couple more off the sides, and then I just kind of, you know, mounted some. I started cutting back a bit, then I started mounting or readjusted them and let them root out a bit, and then I let them grow both in a good sized container, and just say then within a couple of years tops after that, a couple of pineapples came off those two. Pineapples came off those two. When those pineapples came off, those ones started dying back a bit. Then and those were dying back, maybe several more, so many more popped up out of there. So I mean, and that's what you're getting that now. Um, but um, yeah. Now, if you can, Gemini, when you get a chance to, um, try to get it in a fairly large container. Uh, a container, if it's just one plant, then you can go with. I mean, I got one I mean, as a suggestion, one that it'll do really well in is if you go to some of the stores and gardening centers, if you got any available, or if you got a certain size of a container available, there's one at some stores that the container would be about $10, and it'll be probably about, I don't know, probably about this wide, something like that. From one side, one top to the side to another. It'll probably be about that, so deep. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, they work pretty good, for those pineapples. And you know, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, whatever works for you, go for it. But just keep in mind, after when it's fruiting, and when it starts fruiting, or when it starts fruiting and goes through that process, it'll it'll develop a ripe fruit fairly quickly. So from the time you see the pineapple start emerging to the time it ripens is just within a couple months tops. At least in just something like that. It's rather cool to see that happen. Um, and the pineapple itself, that when it was fruited on the plant, was not in under direct light. It was more like it was like in the way I showed you right here, which is nice because you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You ain't anything in the way. And what's cool about this is that it was grown. The pineapple was grown and harvested here inside in the Midwest. So yeah, it's just like you know how many. I mean, so um, I do water it, but I that's the thing is with indoor plants, you don't have to water them as much, but it would not hurt. Let's say um, have a little have a couple holes poked in the bottom of it and have a little catch tray, a deep catch tray actually. Um, and then you can be able to tell how much is in there. I mean, catch trays always help, at least in my experiences, and keep an eye on them and all that. With this pineapple plant, I haven't watered it much at all since I've had it inside, but I will have to water it soon here. I mean, I was just looking at it a little bit ago, yeah. So, um, but the thing is about these pineapple plants, they're very rather, sturdy plants that can go through a lot. I mean, take it, they're from tropical areas, so they're used to places that can tend to have rough weather. I mean, granted, it's some nice weather a lot of times, but it can get pretty rough. Um, but yeah, so far these plants have been getting fairly more acclimated to my area, but it's just too bad these pineapple plants aren't more like perennials, like a bush, stay fine in the winter and then pop right back up when it comes spring. But that's not the way these tropical plants work. So, um, but all right, yeah, I know I went off on a bit on that one, but all right, guys, let's see. All right, I'll plug this device in over here. Let's see. Now, in regards to anything right now about, I'd like to get another ripening pineapple going here, but it is what it is. You gotta do what, go along with what the nature of the plants is. That's what they do, man. They take their time with it. All right. Um, let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just going over a couple things here. All right, guys. Let's see. But I was mentioning these pineapple plants are very nice, sturdy plants. You go through a lot. And another thing, as you're going through with the plants, you notice that the ends of the leaves will start turning brown and start going back. What I'll do is once it gets starts turning brown about that much or so, you clip that part off and let it go as it, you know. But yeah, so let me see. What's up, Julian? But Gemini, if you're going, if you want a quick advice on that, if you see some of the leaves turn brown, like I was mentioning, probably go about an inch or two back on there and just cut it before that goes brown. Otherwise, you're just going to have the leaves look all brown and twisted on it, and it just creates more of a mess. But yeah, at least that's what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know what I do. Um, but let's see, guys. Um, right. Um, let's see. Um, uh, oh, my foot. I'm getting a cramp in my foot there for a second. I guess. Let's see. Well, here I'll show you this plant. There's not much to look at, but it is what it is. Ow, my thumb. All right, here's a little bell pepper plant. Now, it looks like it's not doesn't have very many leaves on it, but that's because I cut it back. There's bell right there. So, um, been thinking about transferring it to something taller or bigger, but yeah, doesn't have much roots. Still growing its roots back. Um, what I think I'll do is clean this one out, and yeah, that's what I think I'll do is end up cleaning it out. But right now, there isn't much to that one. Uh, with a few of these plants, it'd be just as easy, just either I'm debating on whether or not just to transfer that bell to the soil, but it's going to be a bit of a process. I don't want to do that because I'd rather have the pods on there ripen first. Um, let's see. But yeah, um, now as a reminder, I want everybody to be sure to check out Rocky Harris. And a big thanks to him for sending me his salsa from earlier. Very nice. And I've been nice first time I had gotten to try it, and I'm enjoying it. Hey, Rob, give me an idea. I was thinking about it before, but just didn't really want to get into like that because at first because I just wanted to just to do a tasting of it originally, but left that one. All right, check that out, guys. Oh, there's a heaping spoonful right there. All right. Ooh, check that out. Wow, that was a good mouthful of salsa. All right, guys. Sorry we got quiet for a second. Um, uh, well, I don't know if you missed it or not, Julian, but yeah, this is Midwest, so freezing temperatures have been around for a while. So, yeah. But yeah. I was just saying, Julian, it's just that around here, you know, the weather had hit pretty hard already earlier, you know, like around middle of or within the first week and a half, couple weeks of October. So yeah, that's how that kind of got around here. I was hoping it would have held off for a little while, but so yeah. Um, I mean, I was hoping that the weather would have lasted a little bit longer with that, but it's unfortunate. But I can't control the weather. So um, yeah. So regards to anything like that, that's way it goes. Nature has its own agenda. So wait, what? Julie, I'm not sure if I understood you on that, but hey, Julian, send me a couple pics on Hangouts if you could, please. Um, yeah, I know how you what you mean on that, Rob. I was getting some couple light frosts over here, and yeah, and my plants, a couple of my plants we had very light to minimal damage, but I mean it was just maybe a couple of some few of the leaves up top that got hit a little bit, but then the rest of the plant was fine. Um, but then, it did that a couple times over, and then it kept doing that, and it just been more consistent. That's what happened with me. But uh, I can't really guarantee that would be blossom end rot or not. That's why I'd rather be able to see physically what you're referring to, Julian. I mean, because it's easier spotted. I don't know once you've seen it before. Um, that's all. I mean, it could be a number of things. I mean, Rob could be right, but I don't know. I mean, that's just me. Yes, I'm drinking some water. Just getting the chip taste on my mouth. All right. But, oh, I'll show this little plant. This is a plant that I got a few, within like a couple months back, or within the last couple months. Um, I really should pull off any of these kind of older leaves. A couple of these old leaves are kind of doing away with. But been making it a little prettier, but just been busy. Um, yeah. All right. There's this plant. This is a plant I got within the last couple months. Um, at a store, at a grocery store, actually, in their little flower department. So, and does have a few pods on it. It's just it was really rather nice. This is the same container that I got it in, or acquired it in. Uh, I probably should have pot it. Probably can benefit from that. And then, yeah. Ooh, yeah. About that guy. Um, yeah, that doesn't look like a typical blossom end rock kind of thing. Um, ooh, I really hope he doesn't have some kind of bacterial infection, man. Um, yeah. Basically with that one, uh, what method do you grow that plant, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, is it in the ground? Is it in a container? I mean, is it in soil? What it is? I'm just curious. Okay. If you say 5 gallon bucket, is it in soil in a 5 gallon bucket, or is it hydroponic 5 gallon? Mm. Um, ooh, let's see. Trying to think. Um, what you could try to do. Uh, I'm just kind of wondering if you possibly have root rot, maybe, or bacterial thing going on with that. Um, ooh, yeah. Um, yeah. I've seen how that goes. Snap. Um, if you think it, if you want, I think it might be, if it has a possible calcium deficiency or anything, easy method of doing that. You can go to your store, possible gas station, closest store. Go get. I don't. I mean, I've tried it, but it really depends on that. But I've seen some other gardeners use this method. If you think you want to try that. Try getting. What is it? Oh, antacid tablets. Um, they're normally high in calcium. Um, and what you can do is crush them up, mix them in a gallon container. Um, ones that have 750 milligrams would be good, or 1,000 milligrams could work, but 750-ish, it would be fine for about a gallon. And then, I don't know. I mean, I'm just doing it as saying that's a suggestion. You don't have to do that. Well, all right. Well, I mean, if you're getting to the end of your season, then and you're about to just, say that's it for them, then by all means, I was just saying it as a thought. Um, there's, I don't know, this is just a thought. Hey man, hey, don't feel too bad, man. I mean, if it's your first time, first year, then no problem, man. I mean, there's a first for everything on that kind of stuff when it comes to growing. I mean, every time you try something new, there's always something for a first thing that comes with that. No problem. All right. Let's see. All right. Gary, uh, if you're referring to me in regards to starting ultra hots, I don't really start mine too early because otherwise, then it's a lot of moving around of the plants and this and that, and then if I were to do all them via hydroponic, then I'd have to transfer them to soil, and then you know after that, it would should be more of a process in a way, but I'm not injecting that, it'd be no different. Um, I don't know, even though I should try that out. Um, but I'm not saying I will do that, but usually I don't really start it. I usually don't start mine till, let's say, sometimes March, something like that. Yeah, March, April. Sometimes it really depends. It really could really depends because there's been times where I start them, then I'd have plants about a certain size, and then maybe it'd be a bit of an undertaking, kind of dealing with them and maintaining them to a point when they're inside. And I really don't have the room indoors to keep like 100 plants or more feasibly to get ready to be transferred outside. I don't really have that space. It'd be nice, but I don't have that space. You're right, everybody. I mean, the reason why I say March because you could drop them in March, and some of them could take them a few days. Some of them take about a couple weeks, and you know, sprout, and then by the time, like say, started in early March or sometime in March, it doesn't matter if it's early or late March. And then March, April, May, June. I would say it wouldn't be bad to be, you know, late March because if you do it a certain way, you got your method down, your own method that works well with for you. And if you got that working a certain way, then you can just go ahead, shoot that over, and you can never go. I mean, like say, you can even start them in right, you know, April, May, then right there. I mean, it just really depends on how. Sorry, I just thought I heard you rain. Um, but yeah, if you have it going in May or June, it just really depends. So, so yeah, it just really depends on your method. So, mm, you're ready, ready, ready. Uh, um, but let's see. Well, uh, and what I do with a lot of my peppers, I dry a lot of them. Um, some of them I end up cooking with. Certain ones I've given out to certain people. Um, I've given some to the family. I've given some to people you know, um, the ones some people I work with, um, and other things. And then, and it's just, Then, within regards to keeping peppers, a lot of them can be kept for quite a while if in a certain right situations. Like me personally, a lot of them I do not refrigerate because sometimes a lot of times they don't always hold up very well in the fridge, depending on the type of pepper. Um, Now, what I've done with a lot of peppers is I've kept them in a darker area um, without um, any moisture. Doesn't have to be cold as long as it kept around 50, 60-degree temps or something. And I mean, they get real soft real quick in the fridge. I know that. Um, and then keep them if you're going to keep fresh pods. Keep them out of an area where there's a lot of moisture because they go bad quicker. Do it that way. Um, but I've had times where I've kept fresh pods sitting out, sitting out like on the counter or off to in a nice container, open lid, um, you know, for maybe a month and a half or so. Sometimes they've been lasting longer than that. But that's only for ones that I've done with personal use. That's the only ones that I've experimented with and used on my own with myself, not with anybody else. And but I mean, that was just an experiment I've done with myself on that. It's just to test a couple of thoughts and experiment with it. Now, um, and it also depends on the thickness of pepper too, type of strain, all that. Now I haven't frozen too many pods, but I thought about it, even though I probably would like to freeze a couple. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, Now if you got a basement, man, um, just go do that, and then, or if you got a room where you can kind of keep it off the from somewhere, get a dehydrator or dehumidifier in the room, and then get a good dehumidifier going. That should help. But um, yeah. So I mean, I know how humidity can really affect that because that's happened with a number of my peppers around here. Humidity can get up there. I'm not saying this is the most humid place in the world or anything like that, but humidity can get up there. Um, so, and that's the point what Rob just said. Having freezing them that'd be good for if you're going to, cook with them later on or something like that. That's always nice. It's a very good plus about that. Um, so, um, but if you got the freezer space or anything like that, then by all means freeze as many as you can or as many as you want to use. But um, if not, then with me, I don't have a lot of freezer space to use. So um, anything else like that, that's not really a thing I've done a lot of. Even though I do, we still got some fresh pods left. Um, Tomorrow I have an idea what I might do with a fresh pod or two if the weather plays nice. So, um, this is a thought that I might have. If the weather plays nice tomorrow, I might do a stream. Hold on. Well, dang it. I was hoping the weather would be playing nice. But I'll have to play it by ear. I can't guarantee that right now. So, um, I think what Rob's meaning by that, what he just said, the thicker ones don't fare too well, is because when you thaw out the thicker ones, they don't always hold that crispness to them. Sometimes those thicker ones can get a bit mush like. I mean, but at least that's from ones I've seen with people down with. But if you're going to take them straight from the freezer and go ahead and cook with them, that's another story. Um, but yeah, so in regards to anything right here, um, I got a couple of strains that I really need to toy around with. That is one thing I need to toy around with right there too. Dang it! I gotta clean that. I haven't used. All right, dang it. All right, yo, this is what I gotta do here. Um, all right. Freezing pods is nice, but just keep in mind, like what has just been going over, is going from freezing to thawing out, they can lose their texture and crispness. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, with what oh man, if there's a lot I'm going to have to be doing in regards to this. Uh, Gemini, my garden could have been a lot better, at least the way I feel it. But, all right, thanks though. Yep. All right, man. Okay, this is what I'll do. Um, just looking for things in here. Yeah, well, Jim, I don't mind growing in planters myself. I did have a few plants in planters, but this year I didn't have as many going on in planters. I did have a few, but not as many as I had before. But yep, I did like the results I got from some of my pepper plants that were in the planters, but unfortunately, I didn't like some of the results in some aspects due to the fact that what some high winds got to them is. But yeah, I know how those planters dry out fast. I'm very familiar with that. They dry out super fast. I mean, you could just have them watered in the morning and then they'll be dry, within a few hours. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's just the way it goes with them planters. But, you know, but maybe you should consider, let's say, little irrigation system thing going on with maybe getting some rain buckets and stuff like that, and kind of have it on a timer. Um, yeah, I mean, you could have some of them on like not only a timer, but put a sensor in the soil with it that can help detect the moisture level. And if it feels like it's so dry, it'll it'll just be at a point where, sorry, I was looking off to the side reading the message. I shouldn't have done that. Now, if you have it on a drip thing where it has a sensor in there, it can detect a level of dryness or moisture, then boom. Or, yeah, and have it on a drip system where, it just feeds as it goes. But I know they got stuff like that, but you may have to look into some of those things. Um, so that way you could do that and you'll free up you free up some time on your end. And if you can, try to get some really good size barrels to catch rainwater and or just to get a lot of water in because those will help in the long run. I mean, because those what I've had those and those have helped a lot with containers. I mean, in the main garden, rain bucket didn't help a little, but in the main garden, that's those rain buckets didn't cover that, but they did help a lot with the bucket with the containers. Yeah, well, They say a lot of people get worried about tap water and stuff like that, but I mean, it really depends on how you go about it. You just got to figure out what you can do to make it work. Um, and I'm not saying there isn't any problem with anybody's tap water or anything like that. I'm just saying it's just what you got to make of it, I guess. Oh, but yeah, um, just looking around here. All right. Um, maybe no, I'm just thinking about just. I'm just get to sorry. I just get to thinking about different things, but when it comes to growing in that. Well, I man, I mean, I know a lot of people say don't use this water and that water, but I would say if I would say do what you gotta do to try to see what you can make it work because I know water can vary from place to place and you know city to city, town to town, county to county, state to state, all that. Um, but um, yeah. See if you got to let's say if you can get those barrels like I mentioned or whatever and all that, fill them up with that water, kind of let it sit and let it get some air in some of those barrels for a while. That might help. Not saying it's 100%, but there's some people that do that and then claim it works pretty well for them. I mean, I'm I, I'm not going to claim I'm this don't have the most scientific explanation for it, but let some of that tap water breathe and some of that get oxygenated a bit could probably help it out. Um, I mean, because yeah, just like what you're saying, there's most cities around there, everywhere usually do put a little bit of this and that to kind of be sure the water stays clean or whatever and all that. So just you know, there's been other gardeners and stuff like that I've read and heard and seen videos of, seen people talk or heard people talk, I should say, that you let it sit out, let it breathe for a while, then it kind of that helps it. But there's others out debated too, I'm sure. But all in all, it'll just be some. The only way to know is just to do it. All right. I know I'm sounding like I'm rambling a little bit, but I think I'm just going to get ready to call it night here. But Gemini, if you want, hit me up on Hangouts and we can talk a little more about growing or wherever it is, the peppers and all that. Very good. Uh, and yeah, oh yeah, I've recently been making some candies. That's actually been rather nice. I'm making another flavor. I'm making a watermelon one. That was pretty interesting. I don't know how long we'll have that flavor for. Um, let's see. That one's actually tasting pretty good. Uh, and yeah, so um, all right. I hope the weather plays nice tomorrow, because then I can do a little pop-up live stream or something. We'll have to see how that goes. But, so, but yeah, I'll just do what I gotta do tonight, and then yeah. Ah, that's a thought. Ready, ready, ready. Let's do this. All right, all right, all right. All right, let's check this out, guys. No, it's like I said, the midst of time like 5 minutes ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to call it night. And everybody check out Gemini, Google Plus, and all that. Check out Gary, Julian, Rob, and Ruby. All right. thanks for everybody in here that's been uh watch my stream and all that. And then everybody, like I mentioned earlier, check out Rocky Harris. He's a good guy. Um, he's on Google Plus. So time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping. All right, everybody. This is what I'm going to end up doing. Um, yeah. So everything goes right. Just be sure to stay tuned. I'll see if I have popped up a video tomorrow if the weather plays right. And I'm I should have known about the forecast for tomorrow, but I haven't been keeping up. And yeah, all right. And yeah, so well, thank you all for being here, and be sure to stay tuned and check out Pepper Lovers Community on Google Plus. Check it out, please. And yeah, and also, you know, everybody be sure to sign up on Google Plus. It's a very great place to be, all right? And yeah, Google Plus is a nice place. So just try. We got a lot of nice people on there, lots of cool people. So yeah, um, and yeah, sorry about that. That was a little mad attention. Just flew by. All right. So catch y'all soon, and thanks again, everybody. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. And yeah, see you in the next video. Remember, as always, keep it spicy. Peace out. Have a great weekend. Talk to y'all later.